Good day, everyone. Richard Copperthwaite for Northwest Access TV. Thanks for joining us. Happy to have St. Albans Mayor Tim Smith alongside this morning. Morning, Mr. Mayor.
Hello, Richard. How are you?
Good to see him. Fun. Again, a bit of a gap, so good to get back on the air. We're taping this show on Wednesday, September 8th, for the record. Boy, it's about almost at a month and a half, a year and a half into the pandemic, and things don't exactly seem to be going the right way these days with the Delta variant. Pretty concerning, huh?
Yes.
Any impact on the city at this point?
Not yet. I think the biggest piece for a lot of folks is the unknown.
Yeah.
Do I wear a mask? Do I not wear a mask?
Yeah.
Can I do the handshake? I mean, just 6 feet distancing. All that is coming back into play.
I hear you. I'm a little confused. I guess I'm kind of starting to wear masks when I go into stores again, but it is a little confusing.
And I know shopping at Hannaford's, it seems to be about 50% both
Really?
ways. So it is confusing. I was personally getting fairly comfortable midsummer without thinking we were back to normal, but that doesn't appear to be the case.
Yeah.
So
I know you said it sounds like your family had a real nice trip to Massachusetts, and I know you mentioned depending on what community you were in, just very different situation with masks.
Yeah, the expectations were different. As I shared with you, Salem, Mass versus Gloucester or Rockport.
Yeah.
Not a lot of mandates, but depends on the community.
Yeah.
So
interesting. Again, we're taping this show on Wednesday, September 8th. The governor having his weekly news briefing today on Wednesday, September 8th, and he's even coming under some criticism. It sounds like maybe especially from the teachers' unions, just about the school situation. Some folks saying they wish he would issue, I guess, a mask mandate for schools or get into that issue, and he's so far seems to be not wanting to do that, but it sounds like he's getting a little flack these days.
yeah, not only from the teachers' union, but the House of Representatives Speaker
Good point.
Kowinski, as well as
Senate
Beaumont,
President Pro Tem.
Yeah,
Right.
so both of them, I noticed, were coming down on him. Whether that's sometimes I wonder if everything's political.
Right, which the governor seemed to think. I think
Right.
he responded saying, "Hey, that's politics,"
But yeah, I don't. My kids haven't complained about the mask situation at school.
And again, they have to wear masks at school.
Have to wear masks in school.
Yeah.
Two of them, all three are doing extracurricular sports, and they do not have to wear them at that time. So I think that's there's a huge comfort level for being able to do sports without a mask on, for sure.
I bet.
So
sports are back to normal at the moment anyway,
at the
pretty
moment,
much.
everything's back to normal.
Nice to see high school football and stuff.
Yep, I attended a cross-country meet on Saturday at Essex, and you would have thought nothing was wrong.
Really?
But of course, everyone was outside on a beautiful day, and but the meet was held in traditional fashion. So I don't. It's a gradual discussion, I guess. I don't see it happening overnight.
Yeah.
There's going to be some mandates, but.
So St. Albans City Hall is still open? You can still walk into City Hall, open to the public?
Open. Everyone's working back in the building and have been since, I don't know, June maybe even earlier than that.
Yeah.
So.
Interesting. So tax bills, I guess, were due, end of August, quarterly tax bills? If I got the right,
August
February,
15th,
March,
was
April,
it?
May, June, July, August.
Yeah.
Anyway. So people pretty much being able to keep up with taxes. I mean, no big difference there.
Taxes and water and sewer payments.
Yeah.
As I said earlier, it seems to me that not everyone, but the majority of folks are back to normal.
Yeah.
I think all jobs are. There's still some remote activity, obviously, such as immigration, but I think everyone who may have been working before the pandemic. The majority of them are back to work.
Right. Easy to think of your day job when we talk jobs. Franklin County Industrial Development Corp. Again, the extra unemployment benefits just ended. The extra $300.
Yeah, two things happened there, Richard, which I thought was interesting. The $300 ended that's the federal dollars as of Saturday.
Okay.
And then the state has passed some legislation to add $50 more to the state allocation, if you will.
Okay.
And I just saw in the news that was deemed illegal on the federal front,
Oh, really?
and they were not going to allow that to happen. So
Oh.
it's not only the loss of, well, and
Oh.
I think this $50 was going to kick in after the 300 ended,
Huh.
but now both will not be.
Really?
So any unemployment would be ineligible. I think the number I heard was 9,000 people in Vermont
Huh.
were still receiving the $300.
So the hope, obviously, especially for folks like you, is that some more people will start looking for jobs, but.
That's a hope for not only me, but many folks, anyone who has a business for the most part.
Boy, everybody, it just seems like, nothing I need to tell you, it just seems like everybody just about is looking for help, huh?
Yeah, no, I wish I had started selling help wanted signs,
Yeah.
because everyone has them displayed in every business.
Yeah.
And so hopefully this will be, one thing that I was somewhat surprised at in discussions on the $300 was that the White House was considering extending those.
Really?
And I thought, boy, that would have been a mess if they had announced that and extended it, because employers are just, I think, at their wits' end, just trying to find help.
So I
And
guess they thought differently of that,
I guess so. I thought,
Yeah.
I'm not sure what their thinking was, but
Yeah.
and I get there are certain individuals, certain families that are bound by this,
Yeah.
but I think there's also a lot that are just taking advantage of the situation.
So, do you think St. Albans had a pretty decent summer, Tim?
Yeah, talking to a couple folks in the restaurant business, they've had great years, even with the border closed. I know
Yeah.
we got extended again till
September 21st, I guess?
but it won't surprise me to see that extended again. I know Gary Douglas over on the Plattsburgh side is beside himself with the.
Really?
Yeah, he has written a few newsletters that are not the most complimentary of the leaders in Washington by any means.
I bet. And now we've got a federal election going on in Canada, September 20th, which I pay some attention to, but not a whole lot.
Right.
So I can only assume the border issue probably comes up maybe once in a while, but more of an issue on this side where the folks not just non-essential travel if you're southbound coming into the U.S. But
And I did speak to one lady last week who has gone over the border to see some family. And she said the first time they went, it was a little cumbersome. You had forms to fill out and all that, and had to be prepared at the border. But she said the second time, I guess she used the same forms. It wasn't bad at all.
but didn't she have to take a test also?
Had to take the test also, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I had a friend who was planning to fly back into Montreal, which and I talked said friend out of it, and she ended up coming back into Burlington instead. But I was just concerned. I'm told by my fellow U.S. friends, hey, Richard, if you're coming from Canada into the U.S., if you're a U.S. citizen, they can't keep you out of your country. But I'd just as soon not take the chance. You're getting Joe Blow at the border at midnight some night, and Joe Blow is not buying that or something.
Right.
So in that case, talked her into coming into Burlington instead of Montreal. Is that clear to you? I mean, if you're going up, say, it sounds like
I've heard the same thing. If they can't keep you from
they
coming
can't
back.
keep you from coming back.
They can delay you probably
Yeah,
a significant amount of time, but
interesting.
yeah, no, I don't hear much from business about the border being closed. I think, as I stated in a news article,
Right.
I think people have come to accept it, and when it opens, and
Yeah.
that's where we're at.
Yeah. Any news of note on USCIS, U.S. Customs and
None
Immigration
whatsoever.
Services?
No, none.
Again, the city's hope is to put up a new building down the road for those folks at the
Right.
old Fonda Solo site.
Exactly.
So no new news on that.
That will be the pitch that the city does,
Yeah.
is to do exactly what you said, is put a new building up on the Fonda site.
Yeah.
But the request for proposals, there was, just to clarify, there was a request for intent, a letter of interest, I guess,
Yeah.
and those individuals sent those in. And then you have, a request for proposals, which is the next step, and that has not been released.
Yeah.
So there is I think there's a lot of people, a lot of employees wondering what their future is and where they're
Yeah.
gonna be working, and, but right now, no information to share.
Interesting. Again, we're talking obviously hundreds of employees,
Yeah.
some of whom still are working remotely, presumably, some going to Essex.
Exactly, yep.
Boy, is there a concern that the feds will say, hey, this situation isn't working out so badly, let's just keep the status?
Well, that, in some ways, they have said that,
Yeah, is that right?
because they were located in a building of 130,000
Yeah,
square feet,
yeah,
and the expectation is the new building, the request is gonna be for 52,
Wow.
54,000
is that right,
square
not
feet.
even half the size?
Right, so in some ways, they have taken that attitude.
Right,
I know a friend of ours, who's, on the upper management discussions they built an office off their garage, and, her expectation is she'll be working from there,
really,
so
interesting.
we'll see where that goes.
Huh. And meanwhile, the old building, the Gil Tabor complex, any apparent interest in anybody jumping in there?
Continues to sit idle.
Yeah,
The word on the street is the property manager, their contract runs out. I think it ran out 1st of September.
um,
If there was a good thing that came out of it, we've been able to park all the parents' cars in there for Steeler
Oh.
football and all
Yeah.
those activities. So something we weren't able to do before.
Yeah,
Immigration
right.
did not allow it.
That's all
But
right.
it frees up
Huh.
a lot of traffic on South Elm,
Yeah.
and I guess we'll be using that for the football parking lot until we are told otherwise. But there's no property manager, and the gates are open, and there's been no construction within the building, so
Yeah,
I'm not sure what the owner's plans are for it.
yeah,
And I think the city manager has called on a number of occasions and not to get any response at all. So
really,
it's a wait and see what happens and
yeah.
go from there.
How's city police department? How's the PD doing in its new quarters in the old CCV building off South Main Street?
Yeah, the construction's just about done.
So in fact, they're not, and we still have a little ways to go.
Yeah, I don't think they made the transition yet.
Okay.
I know there's a lot of activity down there over the weekend. I think more on the communication side, getting that up and running.
Yeah,
But I don't think they're, of course, we have a council meeting this coming Monday.
it's coming Monday.
So I'm sure we'll get updated, but I don't think the transition has been made yet.
Yeah, but I suspect PD is probably looking forward to some new. I can only assume more spacious.
Oh, for
digs.
sure, yeah, no, more updated space,
Right.
more technology, more space for everyone, so, yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
And again, now a couple months into St. Albans City, of course, losing its contract for St. Albans Town, ran into the sheriff just the other day. He said they're doing well in the town, but city PD, you staffing, you're doing okay? Have you got as many
Yeah, no,
officers?
Doing okay, we have a couple of things happening. I think one officer's out on maternity leave, knows that, and I think someone was injured, if I'm not mistaken, so
Um,
not long-term vacancies, but it is something that you have to schedule for and work around, but,
Yeah,
so, and the one who's on maternity leave was one of the, school resource officers that, I think is still under discussion about what that may look like.
in fact, didn't the board finally make a decision? They finally got their report back about the SRO
Yeah,
and decided, correct me if I'm wrong, not to go with it any longer? Or not that
more
clear?
of a hybrid scenario
hybrid.
where someone would be in the school, but, well,
Yeah.
not even that, I think the school was looking for someone more on call.
On call?
Not in uniform.
Yeah.
But from the city's perspective, that may not be feasible. I mean,
Yeah.
logistically, to have someone hanging around or
Right,
waiting for a call,
right. Doesn't sound like a good use of time.
No, not good use of time. And, you know, if that person's going to be out on the street patrolling in their uniform, and they get a call, you know, I don't know if the intention is they go back to the headquarters, change into civilian clothes, and then go. I mean,
This doesn't sound pretty awkward.
yeah, very awkward. It doesn't, you know, for whatever situation they're being called for, is probably long gone by the time they get there. So
Yeah.
it's a discussion that Bill Kimball from the superintendent and Dominic Cloud from the city are having.
Yeah.
But I don't know that this, I question whether the city is going to be able to fill the specific need that
Right.
the school board wants. You
To
know,
get- yeah.
one of the school board members made the comment, it was in the paper, that, you know, we don't need someone on site because we have city police, state police, and sheriffs all within a mile of the building. Well,
I'm not sure they should be assuming there's going to be a
you know,
quick
that's
response.
assuming someone's sitting in the building waiting for their call,
Right.
when in actuality they could be out on a number of different, and the state police and sheriffs are covering countywide.
Right.
To assume that the coverage is readily available would be a mistake.
Yeah, I hear you. Interesting. I guess I was surprised the school board vote, I think, was just one dissenting vote to making the
That was
change.
8-1, yeah.
I guess I was a little surprised at that.
I was
Seeing-
too.
seemed-
Yeah.
Well before the vote, it seemed like there was pretty strong support, as I recall, for an SRO.
I would agree with that.
Interesting. We'll see how that plays out. How are you faring the new community swimming pool under construction for a
Yeah,
while?
seems
Going
to be-
okay?
Seems to be moving well. The
Yeah.
company we contracted with has been on site, starting to do so, yeah, it's a lot of activity up there. You know, aside from the pool, you had UVM had a cross-country meet up there last Saturday,
Huh.
in addition to youth soccer, and so there's been a lot of activity for sure up at Hardak. So yeah, things are going well.
And again, they'll go over the winter, hopefully get it in.
Yeah, and I think our hope is that we're gonna be able to open in June for sure.
Yeah.
So, you know, our weather's been excellent. It's not like down southern Vermont where they've been
Southern
hammered.
Vermont. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, what a difference part of the state makes.
yeah, no, we're still below average for precipitation for sure.
Burlington's about, checked that the other day, Burlington's about 4 inches below
Is that
where
right?
they should be. And
And-
it seems like more than that to me, but that's officially what they are.
And Bennington and Brattleboro must be
Gee, I think
10
maybe-
inches over.
I think they may well have had some record August rains down there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so, but, dry weather, I gotta believe has, allowed them to get ahead of schedule a little bit and,
Huh.
be prepared, try to get things in place before frost gets in the ground.
Well, and the old pool that served the city so well, holding up okay?
And we got through the summer.
Is that still open, or are they
No,
shut?
I think they shut it, they
When school
usually keep it
started.
open for, the high school gym classes.
Yeah.
And, they just wrapped those up, I think, last week, so,
Huh.
um,
Boy, another summer. Talk about city getting its money's worth out of the old pool, huh?
yeah, 34 years was
Really?
it, or something?
And the life expectancy
30.
was more expected to be more like 2025 or
25, yeah,
something?
yeah.
So what to do with that site? Is that getting any attention?
Yeah, some very preliminary discussions are, keep the bathhouse up and let,
Right.
potentially the schools use it for bathrooms during,
Yeah.
spring and fall.
Yeah,
For, you know, you have, for a soccer game, you have 2 games going on at any one time.
yeah,
You know, the games are at 4:30 in the evening, the school's pretty much shut down, so you could have bathrooms available for spectators if need be.
huh,
The pool itself would be filled in.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what that piece of land would be used for, other than maintaining the bathroom in the spring and fall.
yeah,
And even then, that's there's quite a bit of cost of opening and closing that, if you're just gonna use it for a limited amount of bathrooms, but it may work out. It's better
Yeah.
than a portalet, put it that way.
Yeah, sounds like much better. Any construction in the water? The city needs a new water storage tank, which voters approved. Any movement on that
No,
project?
that was set for 2022,
Oh,
so
okay,
that
that's
spring
not,
that will.
so next year. Next
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
So a friend of mine drove past the Fairfax Reservoir the other day and asked me about that and said, "Is that usually that low?" Obviously, just speaking to the
Yeah.
relatively dry conditions. I said, well, the city's fortunate enough that's, gets, I guess, most of its water from Lake Champlain as the main source. Of course, Fairfax is great with the gravity feed down
Right.
into the city, right?
Yeah, no, I'd give our forefathers kudos
Oh,
for sure. We have that duplication of water for sure.
Yeah.
I like you, Richard. I mean, I know when we have a dry year just by checking out the Fairfax Reservoir.
Yeah. And in my case, Champlain Country Club, where I can get out once in a while. Boy, the ponds at the
Ponds.
club are just so, I'm not sure I've ever seen them so
Yeah.
low.
And they've,
Yeah.
not to switch subjects, but the golf course has had a wonderful year.
Well, it sounds like another very good year for
Well, that's-
Champlain and hopefully the other courses around here.
I know they were hurting, 3 or 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's a great resource for the region for
Yeah.
sure. So it's
Yeah.
great to hear that they're doing well again,
Yeah,
and the demand is there. So
yeah. Speaking of sports, I suppose I might put, again, we're taping this show, of course, but tonight or on this day, we're finally getting the sports show back on the air.
oh great,
Tonight, meaning Wednesday, September 8th. So it's been took the summer off, but it'll be nice to be talking sports again on these airwaves. But no, it sounds like the golf courses, Champlain's had another very good summer.
yeah, the course looks great.
Yeah.
So I'm just next a week from Friday is the Bob Ashton Memorial Golf
Oh, wow.
Tournament. So I think there's still team openings if anyone's interested, but Bob
Yeah.
Ashton was probably the biggest
Great guy.
supporter of BFA sports.
Right.
Kids long gone out of the program, and yet
Right.
he would attend just about any
Wow.
sport on any day, and travel. I mean, he would travel to hockey and football games, baseball, whatever it was. He would travel and support. He, as some may not know, but Bob was a former athletic director at BFA and passed
Right.
away.
For many years.
Many years, yeah.
AD.
Yeah. So-
Interesting.
Huge advocate for BFA athletics.
Yeah, for sure. So again, summer concerts, they've gone pretty well. I catch the farmer's market once in a while, pretty active
Yeah,
summer.
I've heard good things about Farmers Market.
Yeah.
They had a great day when the car show was there. I spoke to another vendor just last week who said his wife's had a table for the first time this year, and they have sold out of their product pretty much every weekend but one. So
Really?
they were very pleased with the attendance and the reception. As far as the band concerts, I don't think we got canceled out a single night.
Really?
It was close. There was
Yeah.
some shaky weather up till about 4:30, but I don't think a single Wednesday night concert got canceled.
Yeah.
So due to weather.
No.
I guess it goes directly to our lack of precipitation conversation earlier. But
Right. Have we still got more concerts? I
no, the
forget.
last one was August 23rd.
Okay, last one.
And I would like to, coming up, this Saturday is the 9/11 ceremony in the park at 5 o'clock.
Oh, glad you mentioned that. At 5
Um,
o'clock?
5 o'clock, yeah. Being organized and coordinated by both city and town fire departments.
Right, yeah,
Bobby Cross and Matt Mulheron
Huh.
taking the lead on that.
great.
People will see Saturday morning throughout the day. The large flag will be hanging over Main Street as it
Wow.
has in the past.
Wow.
So I haven't seen the agenda for the ceremony, but I know that myself, not that I don't say this expecting people to come for this, but myself and Brendan Diesel will be saying a few words
Oh,
along
great.
with others. So
Boy, 20th anniversary,
20 years,
big
yeah.
anniversary, especially in light of what's been going on in Afghanistan, of course.
yeah.
Wow.
So that will be held in
great.
Taylor Park.
Other events, the Afterglow event is not too
Afterglow's the 18th, up at
September
Harnack,
18.
starting at 1 in the afternoon. There'll
Yeah.
be band concerts and food vendors
And there's that Hardack, of course, right?
at Hardack
Yeah.
with the new Greg Brown Lodge
Yeah.
in the background. Yeah, so that's another event coming up.
Farmers market goes into October usually, I think.
I think usually mid-October.
Yeah, because I know the town, two more times to the town tomorrow, which would be, September 9 and 16, I think, are their last two farmers markets, and they throw in music every week down there too, so I think they've got two more. But Northwest goes into October, I think.
Yeah, kudos to the town.
It's been fun. I've caught that, and with my buddy Alex a lot on Thursday. We catch that most days.
Yeah.
It's gone pretty well.
Yeah, they've really put a lot of effort into bay activities, and was it Brewfest?
Brewfest, I think that was a little while.
2 weeks ago, yeah.
Yeah, didn't catch it. Sounds like that went
seems
pretty
like
well.
They had a good turnout. They had a couple concerts above and beyond the farmers market. So I think they've worked hard to attract, and the park looks wonderful.
Yeah,
Park looks great. So
I've asked you this before. Back to City PD, with losing the town, has that made a difference in coverage in the city? I think I may probably ask you every time I see you.
I don't have a firm answer on that, Richard. I think it does.
Dramatic.
I mean, I to me, and I'm out and about quite a bit. It seems like there's more consistent coverage of the community for sure.
Yeah.
That's a question I'll need to ask Dominic, but I'm quite sure that would be the case.
Yeah. Nice to see, going back a while, things kind of getting back to normal to some extent. Great. I mean, I love the St. Albans Free Library. There are a few places I love the library, but they're kind of back to regular situation. Of course, right across the street, the new apartment building, so you're able to, that went well. I mean, you had plenty of people. They're filled up as far as you know.
I contacted Grant Butterfield, who owns half of the building across the street, and he's full. And I think I've shared this before. Champlain Housing, which owns the other half of the building, had some concerns about the potential demand for their space.
Yeah.
But they had no issues, so both are full.
Really.
So it's worked out well.
And that certainly should be a help, you'd think, for some of the downtown businesses.
For sure.
With obviously a bunch of people living a block from downtown.
Yeah, so I mean, that's a model that is advocated for in across the country with downtown programs and all that, is bring people closer to the downtown for housing and whatnot. And I think 60 apartments definitely cannot hurt business.
Yeah. I guess I hadn't noticed this myself. I hadn't seen the Census 2020 numbers, but happened to be interviewing Senator Corey Perrin about the big vote coming up in Highgate on the water sewer line extension proposal to the airport. But the senator, a St. Albans town resident, happened to mention to me that the town had jumped ahead of the city and is now officially the most populous of Franklin County's 15 municipalities by about 100 or 200 people.
Yeah, I saw that in the paper as well.
Interesting. Although I think I saw Michelle Monroe's story maybe in Vermont Business Week. Folks who get Vermont Business Week, a lot of Franklin County news in it. The mayor quoted in there, but I think she noted that was before the apartments got filled up. But it's anyway. Right. But officially, the town is.
I don't think it's any surprise. I think everyone expected
it's going to happen at some point.
It might have happened a little quicker than we thought.
Yeah.
Let me just go back to quickly on
got about a minute left.
Highgate Airport. They had a public hearing last night, of which I spoke at, along with Jeff Carr, the two consultants, Jeff Carr and Wayne.
Many people showed up, or?
25, 30.
It's not bad.
No, it wasn't bad. I give credit to Sharon Busquet and Heidi Valenta.
Yeah.
They've done everything they can to get that vote out and educate people about it, and being on this show as well as
we did some shows,
meetings and hearings. So kudos to them, and I think I'm hoping the vote turns out positive. So
again, that vote coming up September 14th.
Right.
That's going to just about do it, Mr. Mayor. Thanks. Good to have you back on the
Richard.
Show again. Still September, still some good stuff going on out there. Yeah. Activities. Hopefully the weather will hang in for a while. But again, thanks to St. Albans Mayor Tim Smith and our producer Roger Lindela. And again, our sports show. We're taping this show, but the sports show Wednesday night, 6:30 to 8 is back. Thanks for watching us, folks. We'll see you next time. I'm Richard Galbraithwaite. See ya.